Thank you, and welcome again to another episode from Aries TV 33. This is a special planetary function episode. So currently right now from December 19th until January 8th, we are in a Mercury retrograde. Now, usually Mercury retrogrades on average 3 times a year. If Mercury retrogrades 4 times, that's something to take note of. That's something that lets you know that there's a lot of reworking and a lot of steps that are being taken in order for you to transform and change yourself. Because simply put, Mercury is the planet of retrograde. It is the planet that goes retrograde and everybody gets scared. But Mercury is the planet of communication. Mercury rules Gemini. Gemini is an air sign. All air signs are thinkers. Air is the quality to think. Fire is the quality to create. Water is the quality to have emotions. And earth is the quality of like money and grounding. So every sign has their different qualities, but specifically Mercury is the planet of communication. So when Mercury goes retrograde, a lot of things happen, like miscommunication, technological breakdowns, and things of this nature. But specifically, I want to talk about the current Mercury retrograde that we're going through. So, technically speaking, Capricorn rules the 10th house of like relations and responsibilities, public relations, your basically like your place in the world, those kind of things. But so Mercury goes retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. With Capricorn being your place in the world, like authority figures and things like this, a lot of things you're gonna have to go over a lot of details. Even kind of some people may have some court situations they have to handle, things like this. And Mercury retrograde is nothing to be afraid of. It's something to take note of. During Mercury retrograde, it's important to slow down. It's important to go over details, specify details, and get really direct with it. So let me just go into some of the notes that I took down for the Capricorn retrograde. Use this time to think deeper and to balance your material world with your spiritual world. And the thing about it is, like, in order for it to manifest in the material plane, it needs to first be thought up in the spiritual realm. So your thought and your mind is connected to spiritual, like to the spiritual realm. Through your crown chakra is where you get all your energy from source and all your God information. And that's how you channel it through your third eye. And there's just like this whole process of all the chakras. But long story short, you know, you need to balance material and spiritual world right now. You rethink your ambitions, practical necessities. So rethink your ambitions, like meaning, you know you want to be an executive of a record company one day, instead of like just only thinking like, okay, I'm going to be an executive, like what's an entry-level position that you can go for? You know, rethink your ambitions, meaning that, like, what's an entry-level position you can go for? Like, say, for instance, even if you want to, you know, you want to start your own newspaper. Like, would it be a good idea to intern at a newspaper? Like, you know what I'm saying? To get some insight, like, these kind of things. So, rethink your ambitions, practical necessities, and status. So, when it comes to practical necessities, like, what things do you really need? What are the things that you really need to live? You know, if it's not a necessity, then maybe you need to cut that out. Maybe that is kind of holding you back from moving to the next step or moving forward in life. So that's also important, in my opinion. Practical necessities, status in the world, how people see you and how people like basically their opinions of you, like rethink your status and all this stuff, in material wealth. And basically all these things could be managed through the balance, manage and balance by how we use our time. So really in Mercury retrograde, with Mercury retrograding through Capricorn, you want to really look at your everyday routine and your time management. Like, how are you managing your time, and how much energy are you putting into your personal spiritual growth so that it can be manifested on the material level. and how we use our time. This includes like, do you meditate daily, or do you say daily affirmations? And for those who don't know, affirmations are basically positive reminders. If you know you're a good artist, an affirmation is, I am an amazing artist and I excel in the art realm, you know, whatever, like that. You're a songwriter. You know, I'm a great writer. I make hit records. You know, you're a, let's say, a doctor. I am a very helpful doctor. What I do changes people's lives. Like, these are affirmations. So are you meditating daily or doing affirmations? Are you exercising? Are you taking time to exercise? Where's your emotional foundation at? Like, are you just like a loose cannon with your emotions, just kind of falling in love every 5 seconds? Or are you a little bit grounded and know exactly what you want? Okay, and how you feel, how you spend your family time also, because a lot of people tend to get like, you know, a lot of people, we do have to, you know, work to live and stuff like that, but sometimes people get their priorities mixed up and they tend to put more time and effort into working than they do into spending time with their children. And essentially, you're working to take care of your children, and your intentions is to make your children be great children and provide for them, but you have to, you know, take out time to spend time with your family and make family time and things like that. Okay, so this is a purposeful use of time and greater self-control. Okay, so the people that are directly affected by this, if you have your sun, moon, Mercury, or rising sign in Capricorn, then you're going to be affected by this. And also late degree placements in Sagittarius will be directly impacted. So if you're in the last 10 degrees of Sagittarius, then this is going to also affect you. Okay. Now this is the warnings of the Mercury retrograde, okay? These are what you should not do, okay? So what we talked about is what you should do is rethink and regroup. Slow down a little bit more. Take your time to assess and to, you know, kind of restructure your goals and your plans and your schedules and things like this. But what you do not want to do is take on extra responsibility during a Mercury retrograde. That's the last thing you want to do. When Mercury retrograde happens, this is what happens. Misunderstandings, communication breakdowns, delays in messages, any repairs that need to be made on cars, phones, or anything. These things should happen after the Mercury retrograde season, not during. Okay, this is not the time to start something new. Everybody always says this is like the main rule of Mercury retrograde is do not sign contracts. That's the reason why actually I had a contract on the table the last Mercury retrograde, which I believe was in July or August. June, July, or August, the last Mercury retrograde, and I had a contract on the table and I did not sign it. And I prolonged off and we still haven't signed that contract yet. But you know, I'll just let things take its course. But that was the thing. So I was like, oh no, I'm definitely not signing this contract and getting stuck in a situation that I can't get out of. So you don't want to sign contracts. Marriage is another kind of contract that that like makes all your earnings one. Basically, that's all marriage is. It brings people's earnings together, their earning abilities. So, you know, don't get married, don't start a new job, because a lot of the time when Mercury goes back direct, there are miscommunications that happen during those times. And like, say for instance, the fine print in the contracts, everybody forgets to read during Mercury retrograde. So there's a lot of misinformation that you can get during this time. But I feel like it's important to just take your time. You know, this one guy who I dated for, I didn't even really date him. Like, I just kissed the boy on the cheek, like just some child stuff. But I went to a Clippers game with him, and when we were sitting down, he was talking about 3 steps that helped him succeed in life. And he was saying, first step is to eliminate, buckle down, and sacrifice. And so I liked those 3 things together. Eliminate the people and things that are not necessary in your life, buckle down, make plans, and then sacrifice and go without in order to get what you need. So I really like that and found that motivating. So that's something that you guys can do in the Mercury retrograde, you know, just kind of like eliminate and buckle down. And then when it goes out of the retrograde, then sacrifice. But thank you guys for listening to this very special report of Mercury in retrograde. So this is really important to me, though, too, to say this, is that we're going into a new year. This year, 2016, is representative of the number 9. Next year is going to be representative of the number 1. New beginnings, new steps, new everything. You guys, please, like, during the new year, holiday season, going into the new year, don't do anything too crazy, because I feel like this year, out of all the years, like, there's going to be some car accidents, there's going to be some shit that's going to happen because we are in a Mercury retrograde while people are celebrating the new year. So be conscious and be safe, and, you know, is fulfilling your, you know, your desires in the moment more important, or is implementing your plans for your future more important in every moment of every day, you know? So appreciate you guys checking out my Mercury retrograde video. Just stay tuned to Aries TV 33. I got some more stuff coming. I'm going to broaden my, you know, my videos. Like, this is a planetary function video, which I haven't done planetary function videos in a while. And I'm going to start just going into, like, direct metaphysics in a second. So thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter at MARL33. Follow me on Instagram at MARL33, NADINEINSTA, Marlene Nadine Insta. And I'll talk to you guys later. Obviously, it's super late and I'm super excited, so please excuse all my high energy. But I love you guys, and I love information, and I love sharing it. So, TTYL.